Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
And this is Flerick.
And Mac isn't sick, but he's not well. And he's so hot because he's got a fever. Mac isn't with us tonight. He is homesick, doing whatever sick people do.
Only slightly sicker than me, apparently.
Yeah, we're fighting hurt here today. Mac, obviously, not with us, homesick. Jake.
I've been toilet ridden for 2 days.
Yeah, my eye hurts, so I took out one of my contacts. Clearly, I'm the worst off out of everybody. Flerick, what's wrong with you today?
I was a little hot, so I had to take off my sweatshirt.
Yeah, see, it's
inconvenient.
Just getting to all of us here. But welcome to our Kyushu review episode, where we have another first-time Yusho winner for the third time this year. We got Taka Keisho, the Komosubi, winning with a 13-2 record. Like I said, this is his first career Yusho. He's only 22 years old, the sixth youngest to win ever, behind such people like Takanohana and other people that were really good.
And other people. Let's actually list these people out. You know, people were younger. Hakuho was 21 when he won his first Yusho. Asashori was 22. Wakanohana was 22, and Takanohana was probably 19 or maybe 20, depending on which name you use. And Kitama no Umi was also 20. And those are
some serious names.
Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
All of those are Yokozuna, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Kita no Umi, he was
one of the big guys in what, like the 70s, 80s?
30s, 40s maybe?
One of the decades that isn't this one.
Yeah. 50s, 60s.
Maybe the 1830s, for all we know.
Yeah, this is all that data was since 1958, so all of you are wrong.
Maybe not the 30s or 40s.
We clearly are experts on sumo history.
Yeah. We don't have access to our main website for information. It is currently down right now, so
we're just as crippled as Mac and I have been for the last 2 days.
Yeah. But we do know that Taka Keisho also has tied for the fourth fastest to get a Makuuchi Yusho at just 26 basho since his debut. Takanohana or Takanohata and Asashoryu both won their first Yusho in their 24th basho after their debut. Terano Fuji, the former Ozeki, won it in his 25th basho, and then tied with Akebono is now Taka Keisho with 26.
Also some pretty solid company to be in.
Yeah, so if we take that as any indication, there's quite a future ahead for our little bowling ball.
So, Flerick, you got another hype train ready to go? Should we talk to your lunchbox and keychain manufacturer?
For the Taka Keisho ones? Oh, yeah, they're already in production.
Good to hear.
Don't you worry.
We're clearly all aboard that hype train, and if he flames out from here, that we will deny it ever happened.
He is also, this kind of surprised me, he's only the 8th Komosubi to win a Yusho. I figured out of all of the hundreds of bashos that more than 8 Komosubi would come away with a Yusho, but no,
yeah,
only the 8th all time.
Well, it's kind of an awkward rank, right? You know, making sure they have like a lot of people. Seki, Wake are actually, they're better than Komosubi.
Yep.
So I think it's not too often, but I think it kind of makes sense.
Miyagiryu is going to be a Komosubi in this upcoming basho, so...
Yeah, and we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But he's joining the ranks of, once again, Takanohana and Wakanohana and Kaio, some all-time greats that have won at the Komosubi rank. So just Taka Keisho has just got a rocket ship strapped to his back, and he's going straight to the moon.
Yeah, no brakes. No brakes on the train.
No.
I thought it was pretty funny, especially it was on the last day of the tournament, right when Taka Keisho was in danger of actually winning the entire thing. Kintamiyama's video that we were watching had Taka Keisho's dad in the crowd starting to freak out a little bit. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, apparently I got some facts on Taka Keisho's dad. Let me try to pull them up here.
Oh, we got Taka Keisho dad facts?
Yeah. Apparently he has a background in Kyokushin karate. Cool. And I think I heard something about Taekwondo as well. So like he was kind of training Taka Keisho when he was younger. So he was actually a big fan of sumo and Takanohana in general. So he's kind of been like training with them and like his biggest fan his whole entire career. And so he is probably one. You can see in the pictures, he was one of the happiest people like with that Yusho win. Maybe, obviously, more than Takakeisho.
Yeah, I think Takakeisho was the least happy about his Yusho win. His new Oyakata, he's in the Chiganuura Beya now.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some pics and videos on Twitter. He just looked like the happiest man alive. It's like, oh, I just all of a sudden have this new Nikshi, and oh, look at this, a Yusho! Yay! How I stumbled into this.
I'm so good at training people.
And that's the stable that absorbed all of Takanohana's wrestlers because Takanohana retired from being a coach.
That name Takanohana is getting brought up a lot.
Really good at sumo, also really good at being in the news in 2018.
Yes,
exactly. I was going to say though, important fact is who was his flag bearer in the parade for
Takanosho.
Takanosho, one of the Chiganogura. I think that's
Chiganuura.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He was one of the rikshis that was originally part of that Heya. So it's kind of like a little branching of Heya. It's like, hey, we're now actually one family.
Yeah,
now.
not bringing somebody like Takanoiwa, who was also with Takanohana, just like kind of maybe forming like a rift between those two groups that are in that Heya, just extending the olive branch, like you said, and just showing that they are just one Heya and not like two different in the same.
That's a pretty cool gesture.
Exactly. I thought it was a class act.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. We do have a June Yusho winner for the third time this year. Takeyasu had a 12-3 record. He had a chance on the final day. He was going up against Mitake Yumi. If he won that match, he would have been 13-2 as well, would have forced a playoff with Takakeisho, which Takeyasu had beaten Takakeisho on day 14, proved that he could have beat him in the playoff, but he lost to Mitake Yumi in a hard-fought battle on that last day, and so fell to 12-3, his fourth Jun Yusho in his career, and like I said, he's had half of his bashos this year. He's been the Jun Yusho winner.
That sounds like a lot, but remember that Kisuno Sato had 12 Jun Yushos before he got his first Yusho.
In 1 year?
In 1 year.
No way.
No, but I mean, Takeyasu having 4 Jun Yushos without an actual win, I mean, that's not completely unheard of is all I'm saying, but it does suck to come in second place so many times.
I agree. He's having trouble getting past that 12 wins. I don't think he's ever had.
Exactly. I was going to say all of his Jun Yushos have been with a 12-3 record, and that is his highest career record. He did have one other basho with a 12-3 record that he did not get the Jun Yusho. And so it's going to be tough to win Yushos with a 12-3 record. That's not going to get Aki 2017 all the time, where 11 wins is good enough.
Man, that one was a ride.
Yeah, just need a couple more people to drop out, and then he'll be good to go.
I mean, he had about everybody drop out that he could have asked for.
But not
he just
Mitake
needed
Yumi.
Mitake Yumi to drop out on the final day.
Oh, Mitake Yumi brought it. I love that. It was so good.
I mean, he had to do it at some point during this basho, and I guess he figured play spoiler.
Well, once you're at that score, that's pretty much all you can really do, right?
True.
I think the part that sucks being a Takeyasu fan is he still got those 3 losses, and that's without 3 of his hardest matchups in the basho.
Well, yeah, 3 because Goedo had pulled out.
Goedo pulled out, and he doesn't have to face Kisuno Sato because they're in the same stable, so that only leaves 2 Yokozuna that he would have to face, and he only had to face 1 Ozeki instead of 2 others. Yeah. So, I mean, that's potentially he could have had 3 more losses and, been completely out of the conversation.
He did not bring a good showing. Well,
he turned it on.
I would say not a Yokozuna level showing, which is what we were what our expectations for him was.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like he started off with a slow start in the first week, but I feel like his Tachi-ai, he was moving forward a lot more in the second week. I think he looked a lot better in that second week, and then probably just nerves got to him in that last match against Mitake Yumi. And honestly, Mitake Yumi is not a pushover. He's won a Yusho this year and is a very good Rikshi.
Yeah, while I was watching that match, like it's one of those matches that went on for a long time. Mm-hmm. One thing I believe with Takeyasu is like the longer a match goes on, I think the worse it gets for him because he has a great, strong, and like very dominating start. But as time goes on, he just gets tired and he can't keep it going.
You think he sacrifices endurance for that hard charge that he does?
I would believe it, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe that explains Chiyotairyu as well, the other guy that's at the top of the list for huge Tachi-ais.
Yeah. Most sumo matches are done like super quick. So if you're going to specialize at something, that's what you should go for.
It's not necessarily a bad idea. It's just it's interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way before.
I mean, a guy like Takakeisho, you never see him in a leaning match that can drain all of his energy. If he is in a match that's lasting a while, he's dancing around, slapping people's hands down. He's always a moving target. He's not leaning on somebody or getting leaned on, wasting all of his energy. So he has that stamina that he can go a little bit longer just because the style of his matches are very different than a Takayasu match.
Yeah, he's more aerodynamic as well. It helps.
Being perfectly spherical, yeah.
We do have some special prize winners for the first time in 4 months, as they decided those don't exist last time around. Unsurprisingly, the Shukun Show, the Outstanding Performance Prize, went to Takakeisho. This is his third Shukun Show. And there were 2 Fighting Spirit Kanto Show prizes given out. Takakeisho, his second, and Onosho, his third. So given out to a couple of the podcast favorites on this Basho. Very well deserved for each of them. Onosho having an 11-4 record, his best Makuuchi record.
And those are the pair of childhood friends that have grown up in sumo together.
Yeah, and Onosho should be seeing a large promotion. He was Maegashira 13, so we might see a face-off between the two. I'm not quite sure Onosho is going to get high enough, but if they have a similar record in the second week, then they'll start doing the matchups based on that, not necessarily based on where you are in the Bansuke.
Yeah, he just has to be have 10 wins, and they're probably going to face off if they both have the same amount.
Yeah, and it's Onosho, so he's probably going to be right at about 10 wins when he's healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
As we have seen in the past.
When his knee works, yeah.
When his knee works, always 10-5.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Onosho getting that, I thought was really good, but we had some other 11-4 people give it the same thing, but they didn't get a special prize.
Yeah, we had Aoyama and Okinoumi both had an 11-4 record. For whatever reason, did not see fit to give them the special prize, whatever group votes on that sort of thing.
Yeah, from my notes I got, they said Aoyama, Okinoumi, Shohozan, and Nishikigi were all nominated for a prize, but apparently didn't get a majority of votes. And I believe it's a collection of the media with a couple Orekata who actually vote on the Sancho prize.
Do you guys agree that the right people got the right prizes? Obviously Takakeisho, but no Gino show, no technique prize was given away. And I mean, we've seen 3 Kanto show given away in one Basho. Do you think it's right that Aoyama, Okinoumi, Shohozan, and Nishikigi were not given any special prizes?
I really like Shohozan and Aoyama. It's definitely a bit of bias, but I really like their matches because they're primarily pushers, thrusters, slappers, and those are always more exciting. And to me, feel like there's a lot more fighting spirit going on there. But I know that's just a little bit of personal bias. I think that it's not unheard of I don't necessarily disagree with the idea of just picking one of those guys to give a prize to. And Onosho certainly isn't undeserving, but I guess I don't have a strong opinion on whether or not the other guys should have gotten something too.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have as flashy of matches as those other guys did. Onosho, I should say. So that's why I'm kind of a little surprised about it. I guess I think for the most part everyone got the prizes that they should have gotten. I can't really think of a really cool technique that I saw, but I think
Chiyoshima had a nice tripping kicking technique.
Oh, that one was cool.
He finished with a 7-8 record, so you're not going to get a special prize there.
There you go.
Yeah,
but other than that, I can't think of any top level people that were doing anything too fancy.
Yeah, I would just like to see more fighting spirits for those 11-4s. I believe Aoyama and Shohozan. I agree with you on that.
I understand why they didn't, but we got to give it up to Nishikigi pulling out an 8-7 record in his Zone of Death debut, albeit didn't go up against any Yokozuna. Not sure if he had to face Goeido before Goeido pulled out, but Nishikigi, I think, surprising everybody. I think most people are expecting 2-3 wins tops out of him.
Something like that. He was my pick in our prediction series. I'm like, oh my god, free point. I'm gonna pick Nishikigi to get a Makikoshi, and yeah, he stunned us all in the not just like one of the better records he's had recently, but like in a far higher rank than he's been before.
Yeah.
I thought he was like a perpetual, like hovering right at the very bottom of Makuuchi.
He was until this year. He's surged all the way up. He's not going to crack the Sanyaku ranks in the next Basho. There's too many people ahead of him that did well enough, but he has a chance to do so in Hatsu if he can fight at the same level. The entire Zone of Death did, I think, a lot better than we predicted. Obviously, that's going to be helped by there not being any Yokozuna to go up against, missing one of the Ozeki. Another Ozeki just kind of having an off tournament. We'll get to Tochinoshin a little bit later. But Miyogiryu pulled out a winning record. Hokuto Fuji only had a 7-8 record. Nishikigi 8-7. Ryuden was 6-9 in his not Sanyaku, but Zone of Death debut. Tamawashi should see himself back in Sanyaku with a 9-6 record. So we had a lot of guys up there that did very well that probably weren't expecting to see. I think we were expecting a bloodbath like it was in the last Basho.
Yeah, with all of the Kyujos, it definitely opened up an opportunity for it not to be such, utter devastation in the Megashira 1 to 3 ranks.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go back and talk a little bit more about the race between Takakeisho and Takayasu, just kind of how that all played out. We had Takakeisho start out really strong. He was the last undefeated wrestler, and then he came up against Mitakayumi around day 6, day 7 in that range, and Mitakayumi knocked him down. Then Takakeisho rumbled off 7-8 wins in a row to get to 12-1 record. Takayasu had dropped a couple early, but he rumbled off quite a few in a row. He was 11-2 going into their day 14 matchup, where if Takayasu won it, they would be tied going into the final day, or if Takakeisho won it, he would win the Yusho on day 14. As we know, obviously Takayasu won that match. That was an interesting match between the two of them. Takakeisho came out strong, was pushing Takayasu out towards the edge, looked like he could have it, and then kind of slipped at one point, and Takayasu did a nice little ballerina pirouette. I think that's the right word. And just spun right out of it.
Spin move.
Yeah, nice spin move.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Press
enough.
X, right?
Do a barrel roll. And he barrel rolled right into victory.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool match because I would say up until Takakeisho lost it, he was winning. Because I think he won the Tachiai. He had Takayasu, so many Takas. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, but no, Takayasu was being pushed back. Like he lost the Tachiai and like he got off balance. I thought like once you get him sideways and push him out, like he was going to get them. But he just Takakeisho
his feet slipped out underneath of him a little bit.
Yeah, he got like his upper body got a little ahead of his feet a little bit, and
might have been a little bit of nerves on Takakeisho's part as well.
It could have been because that was a match for the Yusho. Like if he won that one right there.
Yeah, and something else I want to bring up. I think I mentioned it about Takayasu. He turned it on in the second week. Takakeisho didn't need to turn it on, but he was doing a little different sumo than we've been used to in the past few Basho. He was doing powerful tachi-eyes and just bowling people straight out as opposed to that kind of react and slap down their hands, move to the side sort of sumo.
I wouldn't say entirely instead of, but certainly more of it than we normally see.
Yeah.
I think, we've gotten so used to him playing that counterpunch kind of game that it seems kind of strange and maybe even caught some guys by surprise that he just went full-on straightforward sumo.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever really seen him play the belt game too much. Yeah. But, I mean, that's not necessarily something you need at the higher ranks. I mean, we've seen guys like Akebono, obviously, was primarily pusher throster, but wouldn't it be a bad wrinkle for him to work on?
I would say the two, Akebono, Musashi Maru, Musashi Maru, thank you. Those were two very big oishi or pushing thrusters types, but they were also really tall and really big.
Akebono was 6'8".
Yeah.
Takakeisho is not.
Takakeisho is slightly smaller than that.
So it's kind of interesting that that's his style is actually pushing.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have noted that apparently he has really short arms, which can make that all the more difficult, but clearly he's making it work. So
I think his mobility is definitely his best attribute. Like those tiny little T-Rex arms, like, yeah, if he does like that windmill move to push people down whenever they come at him, but the fact is that wouldn't work at all if he wasn't like one of the fastest guys moving side to side.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to how the Yusho race kind of played out, so we had two guys tied at 12-2 going into day 15. Takakeisho was going up against the 8-6 Nishikigi. Before the match, Nishikigi was told that he was going up against Takakeisho. He's like, oh, I'm not going to win that.
You think so?
No, there was an interview I saw on Twitter, unless somebody was making it up, which they very well could be. It's Twitter. But
people don't lie on the internet.
Yeah, geez.
But that's what I saw, at least. It's like, oh, no, Nishikigi is just like, oh, I'm not going to win.
Takakeisho was on fire, I will say.
Nishikigi came close to winning that match. It was kind of the opposite situation for Takakeisho that he was in. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, he was pushed back a little bit at the beginning of that match, was able to turn it around and send Nishikigi down to the ground.
Definitely was in jeopardy there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then we discussed before, Takayasu went up against Mitakayumi, only guy to beat Takakeisho and Takayasu in this Basho, and 7-8.
And only 5 other guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wish I could pull up the the stats for it because that's his like first like Makikoshi in a long time. I want to say.
He had one
Mitakeyomi's?
earlier this year.
Okay.
He was the only
he was
guy
down
in
at Komosubi earlier this year.
right.
All right, yeah.
Wasn't he the only guy to go all of 2017 with 6 Kachikoshis?
Yeah, we'll have to
All
look
8 and
to see
7s
if
or
anybody pulled that off this year. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if they did. I know Ichinojo had
Also-
all Kachikochis leading up to this Basho. Obviously, he ended up with a 6 and 9.
Yeah, for like a year and like change as
Yeah.
well. I think that's the guy I was thinking of, Ichinojo.
because he had, I think, 3 straight 8 and 7s at Sekiwake leading up to this Basho.
Yeah. But I do want to talk about Lisa's storyline of like Takakeisho and Takayasu. It was fantastic.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like super engaging, which is like I know like there's no Yokozuna. We had some Ozeki drop out as well, but even then, like day 14 was meaningful and day 15 was super meaningful. Like like both of them had to win and then had another playoff. Like Takakeisho would have another chance to beat Takayasu for the Yusho, or well another thing to talk about is Takayasu. He's never had a Yusho.
Yeah.
He's that's kind of his thing. Like he's
That's
searching
his thing
for.
now.
Yeah,
Not having a Yusho.
yeah. And Ozeki, who's been getting like a bunch of Jin shows, he's starting to kind of look like Kiseno Sato of collecting up Jin shows, and he's just searching for that Yusho.
Yeah.
And so
He's got quite a few years left to match Kiseno Sato, but that's definitely something to watch to see if he can ever finally put it all together for a full Basho and get it done.
yeah. So I just want to say like the storyline, like the last couple of days was fantastic.
Yeah.
I just loved it.
In contrast to Nagoya, which was also a Nokozuna Basho, Mitakeyumi was the clear leader from the outset, pretty much. He won like his first 6 or 7 straight, or like 10 straight, and then he dropped one to Takayasu. But he was always ahead by 1 or 2. I think he had it wrapped up on day 14. So not nearly the drama that we had in this one, where significant matches till the very final match, which is something we haven't seen nearly enough this year.
Yeah, not nearly enough playoff. I think that's one reason why I love the Aki 2017 so much.
That was our last playoff that we
Yeah,
had.
with Harumu Fuji and Goedo.
Yep.
Because like it came down to a playoff. It's so exciting. I love it.
And speaking of that yellow-bellied coward Goedo, he ended up with an 8 and 7 record. He was Kyujo after day 11 or 12, but that followed a couple of controversial matches where he did a very quick sidestep and Henkas versus some Maegashira opponents that left a lot of people angry. Not very Ozeki-like performance out of Goedo. My favorite comment that we got on Twitter, there was a bunch of people on Twitter that were throwing shade at Goedo, which is my favorite pastime. But my favorite comment was at Beast Monarch, who said, and I quote, "Inexcusable, first-rate douchebag." Could not say
Whoa.
that any better myself. Wow. So what do you guys think about the Goedo Henka to Kachikoshi, and then pull out of the Basho?
I
Don't like it.
Oh, man, it's so sleazy that I can't I can't help but love that he was clearly injured enough to need to have this plan at least 3 days ahead of time.
He dropped 3 matches pretty early in the
Yeah,
Basho.
and then he got 2 Henkas, and then we got to give him credit for the last day before he pulled out to get that 8th win. He did do straightforward sumo, but he got that 8th win and was like, okay, I quit.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where it goes full circle, like so cowardly and sleazy that I kind of like it.
Not when I put my pride on the line and I proudly proclaim that Goedo is going to have a Makekoshi in the preview episode, and then he pulls these cowardly acts of doing a Henka against far less opponents just to get his Kachikoshi and then run with his tail between his legs.
No,
I will not have it.
I was going to say that actually kind of makes it a little bit better for us, at least.
Oh, that's true. It's bad for Ryan. There's another plus.
Speaking of the prediction series, real quick, Mac lost once again, and he's not here to call Fleric Yokozuna Fleric, which is why you're not getting that so far on this review episode.
So Ryan
don't worry,
said
we'll
he
have
was-
you covered on another episode.
We'll take care of it later.
But I think should we do all the knock knock jokes at once? Mac did actually write some knock knock jokes.
Yeah,
for
so
us.
the punishment was knock knock jokes.
Mac
and,
wrote so many.
I believe
Yeah.
Fleric dictated that Mac write 20 knock knock jokes.
Should we just
There you go.
intersperse these as we continue?
Yeah, I
talking?
completely forgot about them, so thank
All right.
you for doing that. But
No problem.
I will
While-
be your
while-
Mac substitute.
That sounds good. While you look that up, I will talk about my thoughts on the Goedo.
Okay.
was
On the Goedo.
onto the Guido. I hate the game, hate the rules, not the player. He's doing everything.
No, I absolutely hate the player.
I understand that because you're weird and stuff like that.
I've hated him far before this. This is just another reason for me to pile on.
Now, I think he's trying to obviously save his rank. He's obviously injured, like he was not looking 100% Ozeki level because he was losing. So like he was mixing up his game, sprinkling some henkas. He wasn't trying to hurt his opponent. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and it saves him if he was worried that this was a bad injury or could be a bad injury. It did save him for another tournament by getting a Kachikoshi this time. Even if the injury lingers into next tournament, he still isn't at risk of losing his Ozeki rank that time. He could go one more basho of recovery if need be.
And before we talk about the final Ozeki in this basho, Fleric, knock knock.
Who's there?
Mawashi.
Mawashi who?
Mawashi my hands today. I did not write these. These were by Mac. Get mad at him.
That was actually pretty good. I was going to say.
You are the Mac surrogate for the knock knock jokes.
Yes.
You catch all the groans.
All right, so Tochinoshin, disappointing basho for him. He did pull out an 8-7 record, so he avoids being Kadoban, but there were a lot of people expecting much bigger things for Tochinoshin in a basho without Yokozuna. I predicted him to win the Yusho. A lot of people on Twitter in our predictions thread were calling for a Tochinoshin Yusho, but it just never came to happen. What do you think happened to Tochinoshin, Jake?
I think it's probably a little bit of health issues. It was mentioned a couple times that he's been struggling with his big toes, and it was heavily taped in a match that I'm sure we're going to talk about later, where the wrapping on his big toe could have caused the brushing of the sand that caused him to lose a match. But either way, he started off real slow, and I think by the time he got a couple losses down, it was probably just a matter of getting to 8. He went 5-6 to open the basho, and he kind of woke up and got an 8-7 overall. Finishing off the basho going 3-1, which is that's something. But still, we expected better, and it was a great opportunity with a lot of the top guys out for him to make a show, and couldn't pull through.
Yeah, it's good to keep in mind this was 8-7 with 3 Yokozuna absent, so. It's kind of worrying if he stays in the same state coming into the later bashos where Yokozuna could show up, because he probably won't make his 8 wins.
Well, we've seen that he can beat Yokozuna. He's beaten Kakuryu this year. He's beaten Hakuho this year. I don't think he's beaten Kisei no Sato this year, but they only had one matchup. That's more on Kisei no Sato than Tochinoshin. I think part of it could be due to the lingering issues with his injury that he had the past couple of bashos. Stemming from Nagoya, I believe. But another thing is he won the Yusho that put a very big spotlight on him and his style of sumo. People know, keep him away from the Mawashi. It just doesn't seem like he has a solid backup plan if he can't get to people's Mawashi. And it just doesn't look like solid sumo if he doesn't have a grip on the belt. It looks like he's struggling to figure out what to do, how to get this guy onto the ground if he can't get the Mawashi.
Yeah, it's I guess it's kind of one-dimensional. He definitely has some matches where he does some pushing and some other kind of techniques too.
Doesn't look as good.
Well, yeah, he didn't look nearly as dominating like his strength. Maybe he's just not 100% sumo condition, like you say, like hurt toes, or maybe he's just not as strong, I guess, as he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed it just in my own notes. I only have one time written down day 8 where he actually got a good lift. The actual double grip lifting a guy and pushing back that he's been so known for this year.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a factor of guys keeping him away from the belt. It could be a factor of him not having the strength and leverage that he usually does. But I specifically remember writing it down because I was like, wait a second, I haven't seen any of those yet.
Yeah. And if you go back to January or May, like his 2 best bashos of the year, it seems like every single match was, okay, I got your belt, and I'm going to lift you and place you outside of the dohyo. And he was only able to get that, like you said, just once this basho. So maybe part him just for whatever reason not being able to get there, or just people doing everything they can. It's like, okay, I can beat Tochinoshin if he doesn't get a hold of my belt.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to tell him that. We'll have to see how it goes. Do you think he's going to get a Kachikoshi 8 wins in Hatsu?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's shown. I mean, obviously, he won a Yusho in January, which started his Ozeki run, and then he went on for 2 other successful Bashos in the Sanyaku ranks with Yokozuna competing. He's shown that he can do this. I really think that injury that he suffered in Nagoya is probably still hampering him a little bit. I think if he can recover some more between now and Hatsu, he can start doing some more of the sumo that got him to his Ozeki rank earlier this year.
I think he's a lock for January because it's been 2 full years since he lost a January Basho.
Really? What rank was he in 2016?
Because he's only, whatever.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
only been the one.
Shut
God
up.
damn it. That was funny. Shut up.
I don't think
Something
so.
else that's funny.
I'm more confused than actually anything.
Don't worry. Knock, knock, Jake.
Who's there, Ryan?
Chio.
Chio who?
I'm not sure. There's 6 of us.
Okay, that one I liked. That one I liked.
Good job, Mac. You're 1 for 2. And then we've talked about him a little bit. Mitake Yumi, obviously, he started off an Ozeki run in Nagoya, going 13-2, winning the Yusho, but following it up with a couple of pretty subpar performances. Aki, he was 9-6, and then 7-8 here in Kyushu. Do we think this is the end of the line for potential Ozeki Mitake Yumi? Do you think he has another run in him in 2019?
I think that he's going to be one of these guys that's going to take a couple Ozeki runs. I do think he'll probably get there, because he is still like part of the new generation that's coming in. I think he'll probably get there. We'll probably see another 1 or 2 failed runs, but I do think he's got the potential for it. But he's only 25, so some of these consistency issues that he has are probably just a factor of his experience. But yeah, this was definitely a failure. A big notable failure because, again, it was so shorthanded of a basho and he still couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, he's not ready. I think what he needs is everyone at kind of like 31 or 33 to retire. So pretty much all the Yokozuna and like at least I think Tochi is 31 or so.
He's 30, 31, yeah.
Takayasu is the youngest Ozeki.
28.
Something like that, yeah.
So at least a good 4 or 5 people above him to retire. I think he's probably ready to jump up there.
I do think it's notable that Tochinoshin and Takayasu, the 2 newest Ozeki, were at least 3 or 4 years older than Mitake Yumi is now when they got the promotion. Yeah. So he's certainly not like done as a career, but I feel like it's probably going to be 1 or 2 more failed runs before he gets it.
Yeah, which honestly is probably pretty smart given his age. Like, you kind of want to jump up, but like the impression I get from him is like he's treating this as kind of a lifelong career. Like where he's kind of known for taking it really easy in practice is one of the things. To me, that kind of says like, hey, I'm not going to try to injure myself during my rest weeks. I'm actually going to try to rest up and bring myself on the days that actually matter. And so I guess he understands rest. He understands not taking it 100% all the time. And so I think for a long career, that's actually really important.
I think that's actually comparable to the other Sekiwaki who had a rough tournament here, Ichinojo. We've commented in the past that he, again, for longevity's sake, may be taking it easy when the bouts get to the edge of the dohyo. Just, a different type of long-term consideration just for health. Mitake Yumi, maybe it's a thing where he takes training easy. Ichinojo, it's a thing where we
have heard Mitake Yumi is a notorious poor trainer.
Sandbags a little bit when it doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's kind of interesting that there's the 2 completely separate things, like taking it easy in practice and kind of giving up at the edge, that could very well just be a good long-term investment.
Yeah, there's only so many hits of your knee to the dohyo you can take.
Oh, that
for your
something.
knee. Yeah.
Who was Ichinojo facing when he broke the dohyo?
I want to say Takayasu.
That's what I was going to guess too. If only we had our damn website up and running.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of cool. He was forced to the edge and took a big chunk out of the side with his knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really cool. Are we talking about Ichinojo now? Or?
No, I'm going back to Mitake Yumi.
Okay.
I think it's more of a mental thing with Mitake Yumi that I just think pressure can get to him.
He won his match against Takikeisha and Takayasu.
Yeah, but there was nothing on the line for him at that point. He had already stacked up so many losses that it was probably inevitable that he wasn't going to get his Ozeki run. I mean, the 2 Bashos after he won his Yusho, his first one, he started off 6-1 and then started stacking up the losses once it became like more real. And then this one, I think, is like, okay, this is my last chance for Ozeki run, and then the losses were immediate for Mitake Yumi. So I think it could be a mental thing for him. I definitely think he has the potential, obviously, to get there eventually. It might, like Jake said, take him a couple other tries because we haven't seen him consistently be at that 10-plus win level. We've seen it once in the past 2 years where he's broken 10 wins, I think. Ozeki run, we haven't talked about it, but Takakeisho obviously is beginning his Ozeki run. Or maybe this could be his second part of his Ozeki run, because before this, he went 9-6 as Komosubi. So this would put him at 22 wins in the past two Bashos. And if they want to consider his Aki Basho as the beginning of his Ozeki run, if he has an 11-plus win Hatsu as a Sekiwake, we might see Ozeki Takakeisho at 22 years old in Haru in March.
Yeah, I mean, he's going into this next Basho in exactly the same situation as Mitake Yumi was coming
13
into this
wins
one.
and 9 wins, yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, it could be the exact same situation, but just in reverse order, between his... Yeah. But I think that's pretty cool, and if he doesn't make it, I think it'll be good experience for him, just like I think it will be for Mitake Yumi here to already have won the pressure of the first Ozeki run off of his back.
I have more confidence in Takakeisho than I do Mitake Yumi. Takakeisho has 2 straight 11-win Bashos just earlier this year before he took his small tumble down the Bansuke and then came back up to be a Komosubi. He's had, I believe, 3 11-win Bashos before this 13-2 Yusho. I would be able to confirm all of this for you if our website was up and running.
I would love to double check that.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure I'm pretty confident in those numbers.
He was kind of the rising star last year. He really was.
He won our Newcomer of the Year in our award show.
Yeah, a very prestigious award.
All of those awards that are presented by us are the most prestigious in all of sumo, as they are the only awards, besides the Yusho and special prizes and all that stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff that actually means stuff and gets you money.
What are you talking? These mean everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
We'll get to that more next month when we actually have our award show for 2018. Yeah. But I believe Fleric wants to talk some Ichi-no-jo.
No, I actually have a quote from Takakeisho.
Okay.
He says, laughing is unnecessary because I'm a rikishi. That's all.
I mean, that they are supposed to be nice and stoic and...
Sounds like somebody who listens to Max knock-knock jokes.
Speaking of knock-knock.
Fleric, your turn.
Who's there?
Endo.
Endo who?
Endo the punchline. I do have a good transition one to our next topic. Knock knock, Jake.
Who's there?
Ichi.
Ichi who?
Ichi my nose for me.
Oh no. It's tragic.
It's Ichi-no-jo time, people.
All right. I just want to say, like, he had like a lot of 8 and 7s or so. I think this is his first Makekoshe in like a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising because like he always just seems to kind of stumble in there at the last day.
I'm not surprised. I've been expecting it for the past 4 Bashos when he started
the Kachikoshis.
When he started the first week like 1-6 and then wins the rest of his matches in the second week to get his Kachikoshi.
Well, he didn't get this time. Were you surprised?
He did. So no, I was not.
Oh, okay.
Every single time he does it. Oh, like okay, this is one. Ichi-no-jo sucks, and then just like he does it in the second week, and that's what surprises me. It's the comeback in the second week that for 3 straight times surprised me. This time, once again, I was not expecting the comeback and didn't get it. So, yeah, not surprised. Ichi-no-jo going to be dropping out of the Sanyaku ranks. We'll see if he can fight his way back in there with some, hopefully, first week determination as opposed to exclusively second week determination. We need to talk about it a little bit more before we go on to the lower ranks, but we do have a little bit of Kisei no Sato news. Before we get to that, I do have knock knock Fleric.
Who's there?
Kisei.
Kisei who?
Exactly.
Oh.
Kisei no Sato, Kyujo for his 9th out of 10 Bashos, I believe.
Do we even need to like crap on him anymore? That knock knock joke was some serious burn.
That was some good shade thrown by Mac there. But the only update that we have is that the Yokozuna Deliberation Council got together in Fukuoka, which is odd because usually they are in Tokyo.
Yeah, it's usually after the Tokyo Bashos they convene.
Yeah, but they convened in Fukuoka, and they offered Kisei no Sato encouragement. They did not admonish Kisei no Sato, and they did not tell him to
retire.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there are 3 options they kind of have. One is encouragement. Then they can have a caution, and the last is suggest to retire. So of those 3, they gave him the kind of the lightest one that they could say.
Yeah. Which is, I think we've mentioned this before, I believe they gave Kakuryu towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, when he was missing a lot of consecutive bashos, like, hey, do good or else. Yeah. They haven't given Kisei no Sato the do good or else yet, and you'd kind of think 4 or 5 bashos ago would have been the time to do that, and here we are a whole year later.
Well, we've mentioned it before, but his in our earlier podcasts for this basho, but those 10 wins that he got definitely bought him some serious time.
Yeah, I agree too. I will say that the Yokozuna Deliberation Council is now comprised of 9 people right now, and there are some voices, like the head chairman did say, like, some quotes I have is, he should be showing physical strength and ability commensurate to his position, and the disappointment of the fans has earnestly hoped for his recovery at the Kyushu Basho was great. So essentially he's saying, like, you're kind of weak, and a lot of fans are kind of disappointed that you didn't take this one away. But he's still kind of, obviously the consensus is they still believe in Kisei no Sato, but there are some voices that kind of are saying, like, hey, he should probably retire, especially if he doesn't show up during January Hatsu Basho.
Yeah, I know that I saw that Kakuryu and Kisei no Sato are both going to be Kyujo for the Winter Jungyo Tour. Hakuho does seem like he's going to be there from day one. I don't think he's going to be on the Torikumi from day one, but he will be doing training and then possibly join and do actual matches halfway through. Did also hear that Kisei no Sato could join partway through the Jungyo Tour.
Either of you guys remember what Hakuho's specific injury was going on here?
Knee surgery.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, the pain in his knee. He had surgery, and it didn't seem to help by the time the basho started.
Okay, that's right.
This is back from Nagoya, where he pulled out suddenly after day 3, I believe, with a knee issue. He obviously fought through it in Aki. Yeah, he slipped in like the back room.
Mm-hmm.
Fought through it in Aki, got a Zensho Yusho, but it must have creeped up on him directly after that because he had it scoped or something like that.
Yeah, they took out pieces of bone, and then they went into his ankle and just like cleaned stuff up. Yeah, is what they said.
So he rested.
They gave him a tune-up.
Yeah, he rested for Kyushu. He'll be part of the Winter Jungyo, so I would fully expect him for Hatsu.
We'll see. Knees are a big deal.
With Yokozuna and their basho participation, I think the best we can offer is at this point. For any of them, really.
That is true.
Let's go down to some of the lower ranks. Juryo, we had first-time Juryo. Oh,
it's got to be Enho, right? He started 8-2.
Then he finished 1-4.
Oh no!
Yeah, he only finished 9-6. 3 spots out of the Yusho winner, which was Tomokaze, the first-time Juryo participant. So first-time Sekitori, had a 12-3 record. He was the lowest-ranked Juryo wrestler. Like I said, this was his first Juryo Basho, and I believe he was still acting as Yoshikaze's Tsukebito.
So even though he was a Sekitori, he was still working as an assistant.
Yeah. I once again saw something on Twitter from sources I believe.
I don't disbelieve you. I think that's just really interesting that the culture of having the personal assistant. I imagine like it made perfect sense when he wasn't a Sekitori, but I guess I would have expected that as soon as Tomokaze was promoted, they would have said, "Okay, Yoshikaze, here's your new buddy."
Get right, Jake. On this podcast, we call them manservants.
Manservant, my mistake.
Yes,
you can buy one for a low price.
We had a recent sponsor who was offering those, right?
Yeah, Tsukebito Emporium. I think that's the one. Yeah.
Also saw on Twitter that Rikshi that win their first Juryo Basho, win the Yusho, they typically go on to have a fairly decent career in the higher to at least middle ranks of Maegashira. People like Tochinoshi and Ikioi are people that have done this, and we've seen how successful careers they have had afterwards. So we can expect to see Tomokaze up in Makuuchi and doing fairly well next year, it would seem. Other than that, we had Enho, who started on fire. Like Jake mentioned, he was 8-2, cooled off in the second week, went 9-6. I think most of us found a new favorite down in Juryo, Terutsuyoshi, who picks up the most salt out of all the Rikishi ever and tosses that. And he finished 11-4. He is right on the edge of possibly seeing his Makuuchi debut, but he's another one that I'm going to start to pay quite a bit more attention to just for the ridiculous amount of salt that he throws.
Absolutely absurd amount.
Yes.
It was awesome. Another guy that we've followed in the past, Yago, looks like he's probably going to finally make his Makuuchi debut.
Hey,
and
that's awesome.
with a Makuuchi debut, should get a Shikona. Yago is his actual name.
Right. There you go.
And he is I believe he is in the same Heya as Yoshikaze and Tomokaze. So we should be getting some form of Kaze Shikona for Yago.
Kaze?
Yes, Kaze.
Wind.
Breeze.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to see if that actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think this would be one of the first times we've really paid attention to a guy and then they get a name change.
Yeah, we kind of followed Yago a little bit because he was getting a lot of hype right when we started our podcast, and he kind of stalled out in mid-Juryo for the last year or so. Yeah. But looks like he was the Juryo 1 East, so and he got an 8-7. So he is for sure going to move up if anybody moves up.
Yeah.
So
and somebody else recently that had a name change coming up from Juryo is Takakeisho. I believe in my previous reference. Oh, the site is back up.
Oh, God, we're saved. We can be accurate again.
I could check this, so hold on as I vamp for a little bit. Okay.
Takakeisho used to be Sato.
Sato, yes. Like I said, I'm missing one of my contacts right now. That is just Sato.
So he changed when he got to Makuuchi?
Yes. He was Sato up until November of 2016, and then in January of last year when he made his debut, he was Takakeisho.
I believe another recent one was Hokuto Fuji when he got to, and yes, I can verify this now because our database is back up.
And I can double check it. I'm so excited.
Hokuto Fuji, when he got promoted to Megashira, he changed his name from his birth name of Daiki.
Yes. Daiki Akibichi to Hokuto Fuji Daiki.
So, and that's pretty common too, is saving as your first name, essentially, a given name or a past name or something.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, something to look out for all of your Yago fans. You will probably no longer be able to look him up under Yago.
Yago Kaze.
Yes. The other Yushos that went out to the lower divisions, we had former Maegashira mainstay Sokokurai win the Mikushita Yusho. We had former Maegashira mainstay Ura. Well, mainstay. He was there for like 5 or 6 basho. Win the Sandanme Yusho, so Ura well on his way back to the Maegashira ranks. We had Mitsuuchi win the Jonidan Yusho. He also won the Jonokuchi Yusho in Aki, so he's on quite a rise up right now. We'll see if he can repeat the performance in Sandanme at Hatsu. We had Hatooka win the Jonokuchi Yusho. Yucho.
Yaocho?
Not quite.
Not match fixing? Okay.
Definitely not that one.
And then just to follow up on some of the guys we've been following, unfortunately, Waka Ichiro had a down basho in Jonidan. A lot of people are suspecting that he is fighting some form of injury because he typically performs a lot better than a 2-5 record in Jonidan. He's a guy we expect to be in the Sandanme ranks typically. We had Musashi Kuni, who was actually Kyujo for his first match in Makushita, came back and ended up going 5-1 in his remaining 6 matches, so finished 5-2 overall in Makushita, so we'll see a little bit of rise out of him.
Do you think like he just had a TV show like he had to catch, or?
I would hope so, yeah. Probably just a new episode of his favorite anime on in the first day. He's like, I can't catch this on tape.
The Hinamaru is out. Yeah,
people are going to spoil Hinamaru's whatever it's called. He didn't want that to happen, so
I better just sit out my first match here.
Yeah.
I have a fun fact about Musashi Kuni. He is apparently Takayase's Sukebito.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting because they're not in the same stable.
Yeah.
They're in the same Ichiman, though.
That's what happens. I think some stables are too successful, and so they go to other stables. Hey, I need some manservants.
No, we have too many Sekitori.
Yeah. Takanohama Baya had that problem. And that's kind of one of the reasons why there was an incident with one of his guys.
Is that Takayoshi Toshi?
Takayoshi Toshi, I believe, yeah. What happened was his Sukebito didn't remind him of his match.
Yep.
And so he kind of was late, and the Oikato was like, he yelled at him for the most part. And so he went back and beat up Itsuki Bito.
Yeah, he showed his displeasure with Itsuki Bito with his fists.
Yeah, one of the reasons they suggested was because they're overworked because they had like 5 Sekitori and like 4 3 Sukebi that are younger. Yeah, so there's like a lot to do. But once again, like don't punch people.
Yeah,
unless you're in
Not
like
cool.
unless you're slapping people inside a ring, then that's okay.
And then just to finish up our lower division guys, Naya in Sandanme went 4-3, so he'll probably still be in Sandanme, I would guess, in the upper reaches of that division. And Hoshoryu went 6-1 in the lower parts of Makushita, and so we will see him jump up quite a bit. Probably not.
Do you know what
enough.
rank he was?
I have no idea. 40-ish. Which one are we talking about, Naya or Hoshoryu?
Hoshoryu.
I think he was 40-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, 49 East in Makushita. So with a 6-1, he'll probably be. We don't have as much experience with
I
these.
have no idea. I'm guessing probably not high enough where.
Probably in the teens or 20s.
Yeah, probably not high enough where
MS
another
40?
good performance would get him into Jurio.
He's probably a couple out.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Okay.
interesting that Naya seems to have the advantage out of those two because they entered at the same time and they're both relatives of legendary wrestlers. But Hoshoryu definitely seems to be taking off a bit quicker.
Yeah, definitely the last couple, which is awesome because I like that guy a lot.
Yeah.
I looking at other people who were around Makushita 40 and they got 6-1 around Makushita 17, or give or take a couple ranks.
Flerick, before we go over to the news desk, we have a breaking news story. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hawk.
Hawk who?
Bless you.
I'm starting to get kind of a little annoyed at these.
Yeah,
How
I'm
is
pretty
this-
sure I
how
said
is-
during the preview or the midway, I don't think this is so much a punishment for Mac. This is just a punishment for all of us.
Who
I
decided
get a
on this?
little bit of enjoyment because I get to read it and subject you guys to it.
Oh, Lord.
So it's working out for me. But Flerick, news desk, news us.
All right, welcome to the news desk. We got a couple items here. One is there was another Richie who was kind of caught driving. This time he was supposedly drunk driving and he crashed into a guardrail. And so he didn't get any charged by the police at all, but the Sumo Association decided that they didn't want it to mess around with Richie driving at all, and he retired after the spa show.
That was Shingaku.
Shingaku. He was in Makushita, I believe.
Yes.
Fun fact, the Oikata Otake was the same Oikata as Tsunarashi. So this is the second driving incident in the same Heya in the last couple of months.
No. That was Osunarashi's wife.
Oh, right.
The
yeah.
Right.
Oyakata has no control over how Osunarashi's wife drives.
They just made Osunarashi retire because his wife is a poor driver. Right.
Yes, exactly.
So the Oikata has a pay dock by about 20% for the next 6 months.
Ouch.
All right. Speaking of pay news, the Rikishi got a pay raise.
Woo!
First time in 18 years by our sources. It sounds like
Yikes.
about 5 or 6%.
That is not good.
Well, we don't know the Japanese economy. Maybe it's been stagnant for
Maybe
the past
they have
2 decades.
zero inflation ever. Well,
So-
I mean, it's certainly good news. But it is a little bit off-putting how rarely that must happen.
Yeah, I think the late 2000s, early 2010s or so, I think it was kind of a little bit slow time for sumo, at least with like stand attendance. But the last couple of years have been great because I think every Bosch for maybe the last 2 years, except this one, has been sold out. So
There you go.
I think they're on the way up, and they decided to share some of that money with the Rikishi as well.
Oh, that's good.
Last update is Arawashi. I think some of you watched him this Bosch show and were really disappointed because he didn't do all that well. Apparently, he had like an ACL tear last Bosch show, is what I heard, and he decided he got surgery I think at the beginning of October. But unlike Onosho, who decided to take Ura, who decided to take about 6 months off, he decided to try to wrestle with a recently surgically repaired ACL.
Hey, 2 CLs out of 3 is enough for a knee, right?
All you really need is the M and the PCLs.
Yeah.
If you get a bulky enough tape, it's going to be just fine.
And boy, did he try.
Boy, did he try, and boy, was he wrong. Oh, that is so freaking dumb. Jeez, Arawashi, get your stuff together.
All right. That's it for our news updates. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, discuss what we think the Bansuke will look like in the Hatsu Basho, and then go through all of our prediction results and all of our fun things. And then we also have Knock Knock Jake.
Who's there, Ryan?
Dohyo.
Dohyo who?
Dohyo know what time it is?
These are so hit and miss. I love them.
I need to know. I have to be somewhere.
Oh, it's actually 3 a.m. We've been recording all night.
It feels like it. All right, we'll be back. Good morning, Bobby. Good morning, Susie.
I'm starving.
What's for breakfast?
Konnichiwa!
Kise no Sato!
I bring you Sumo Enriched Kise no Sato's breakfast cereal, fortified with massive weight gain and muscle growth.
It's good.
And good for you.
Bobby?
Hakioi.
Susie?
Hakioi.
Don't worry, that's just the power of sumo.
Feed your kids sumo. They'll grow up big and strong. Really, really big. Knock, knock. Anybody. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Show Hozan.
Show hose on who?
Show. No, that's pornographic. I don't get this one, Mac. You're going to have to explain this one to us. You know what? He had to come up with 20. They can't all be winners. It's Bonsuke time.
Oh boy.
Yay.
Now I'm curious what it is. Was it show hose on?
I think it's like show hose
Okay.
on, and then something about hose being pornographic.
Mm.
I don't know. Like I said, we'll get Mac to explain it all in finite detail.
We need an
episode.
essay on that one.
Yeah.
To fully explain it.
All right. Like I said before, Bonsuke time. All right. So Yokozuna are going to stay the same, I assume, because none of them got any wins, and because of that, none of them can jump over the other, despite Kise Sato participating. Ozeki are going to stay the same. Takayasu as your top Ozeki. Goeido and Tochinoshin finished with the same record, so I don't think Tochinoshin can jump ahead of Goeido, even though Goeido pulled out partway through. You're going to have Takakeisho jump up to your top Sekewake spot.
That'll be his debut at Sekiwaki.
Yes.
His highest career rank.
Yes, and one of like 50 things that I think could have gone 5 or 6 different ways with this Bonsuke. I've got Mitake Yumi sticking around at Sekewake West. He could drop down to Komosubi with a 7-8 record, but there is precedence for Sekewake's getting a 7-8 record and just moving over from the east slot to the west slot. I know Goeido did that exact same thing. I think with wins over Takayasu and Takakeisho, the only guy to beat the top 2 people from the last Basho, that might be enough to get him to stay at the Sekiwake level.
Who's next in line to take a spot?
It would be either Tamawashi or Miyugiryu. Neither of them had double-digit wins, so that's another reason. Like if Tamawashi had been 10-5, I probably would have had him jump to Sekiwake. Mm-hmm. But since he only had 9 wins, and Miyugiryu from Maegashira 1 had 8 wins, Tamawashi was at Maegashira 2, had 9 wins. I've got them both being the Komosubi in the next Basho.
Yeah. Tamawashi's garbage. Can't give it to him.
Right. The
in-depth analysis. I love it.
Yeah. So filling out the Zone of Death, Maegashira 1, Tochiozan had 8-7 record for Maegashira 2. Ichinojo, I've got him dropping down to Maegashira 1 after a 6-9 at Sekiwake.
Whoa. Not to the Komosubi?
No, with a 9-6, I think
6-9.
Yeah, 6-9. I think history shows that if you have a 6-9 from Sekiwake, that's going to drop you out of Komosubi.
All right.
And then Maegashira 2, Nishikigi jumping up 1 spot from Maegashira 3 with an 8-7. Sho Hozan jumping up from Maegashira 7 with a 10-5. He's going to leapfrog the likes of Shodai, and I guess that's the only one he's leapfrogging him. Who's leapfrogging because that's the only one who had a winning record ahead of him. But Shodai only had an 8-7, so I have him going up to Maegashira 3, along with Hokuto Fuji falling from Maegashira 1. So that is our Zone of Death. Big jumpers right behind them at Maegashira 4. Kodo Shokiku had 10 wins from Maegashira 10.
He did.
Yeah.
Like that. He had an impressive Basho. I kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, he did quietly really well. So he's back up close to the Zone of Death. Potential matchups with Yokozuna, and if things fall the right way, if he does well enough and people ahead of him do poorly, maybe back in Sanyaku shortly.
Could we get another Kota Shogiku versus Hakuho/Kise?
I think that's very much in the cards.
Yeah.
Depends on how many people are injured ahead of him.
Yeah, I know him and Kise have like probably the most matches between like Rikshi. I think
that's what
Hakuho's
I've
in
seen.
there too.
Yeah.
Just because they were just so
Those
good.
guys were so at the Ozeki and Yokozuna level for so long at the
Mm-hmm.
same time.
I would love to see a rematch against those guys. So if he can pull it together for another Basho, that would be awesome.
Yeah. And then Okinoumi, have him at Maegashira 4 after an 11-4 record. He was somewhere in like the 10 or 11 range. And Aoyama, have
Is he at Yokozuna yet?
Okinoumi?
Aoyama?
No,
You're not putting him that far up?
not quite yet.
Oh,
No.
I think it's in his future, though.
Yeah, I think he has the Yokozuna in his future as a star.
Let's see him put together 2 back-to-back Kachikoshis for the first time in a couple of years. and then we'll talk about Yokozuna status.
He's taking it easy. It's marathon, not race.
But I've got him at Maegashira 6.
Marathon is still a race.
It's a sprint, not a marathon.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
And then I've got Onosho at Maegashira 7. Those guys jumping up about 6 or 7 spots, respectively. There's too many people in front of them that didn't do poorly enough to fall back to warrant them jumping up to the higher ranks, which typically you see. The past few Bashos, we've seen somebody like Chiyo no Kuni, who's at like Maegashira 12. He busted off like 12 or 13 wins, and he was all the way up to Maegashira 2 or 3. This Basho, we saw a lot of success at 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, really, where there's not enough room for people to jump all the way up there.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a bit more parity here. There wasn't a ton of extremely good or extremely bad rankings.
I am struggling to think of anybody beyond Kaisei in like the upper half that had more than 10 losses. Everybody was either like 7 and 8 or 6 and 9.
Yeah, there was not a lot of the usual total carnage of terrible records in the top ranks.
Yeah, the carnage was at the bottom with Arawashi, Chiyomaru.
Pretty much taking the carnage for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Takanosho had a pretty down Basho as well. The biggest dropper, I do have Kaisei. He ended up with a 3 and 12 with the matches that he missed. And so I've got him dropping down to Maegashira 8. So a pretty significant drop. But we've seen Sho Hozan drop from Komosubi down to like Maegashira 7 recently with a similar record. So I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary. People jumping up into Makuuchi, I've got Yago, Kotoyuki, Kotoeko, pretty solid on those 3. They'd be replacing Chiyomaru, Arawashi, and Takanosho. On the fence with the last one, at Maegashira 14, we had Daishomaru with a 6 and 9 record. And so that would put him either at, for me, the last Maegashira spot or the first Juryo spot. And it was either him or Terutsuyoshi jumping up from Juryo 5 with either a 10 and 5 or 11 and 4 record. And because I like Terutsuyoshi more, I gave him the nod in my Bansuke. So I've got Terutsuyoshi making his Makuuchi debut at the final Maegashira spot, but would not be surprised at all if Daishomaru takes that spot. And that's about it that I have for this Bansuke. I know some people, I did do a little bit of research. I had a couple of people calling me out like, Yago all the way up to Maegashira 13. Don't you think that's a bit much? No, I do not.
End of story.
Yeah, he had 10 wins at the top Juryo spot. Really, this is just a bump up of 4 ranks. If you just kind of take away the designation Juryo and Makuuchi, just like call Juryo 1 Maegashira 17, it's only a jump up of 4 spots with double-digit wins.
I just realized now that our database is back up, I completely forgot that Yago had 10 wins.
Yep.
I think I mentioned earlier, I remembered him only having like 8, so he was barely going to move up. Wow, I was very wrong there. That's a really impressive record. He's definitely going to move a good ways up.
Yeah, and I did a little bit of research. Takakeisho, I believe, debuted at Maegashira 12 or 11. Hokuto Fuji was at 12 or 11. People, I believe Kakuryu debuted at Maegashira 9, his first Basho in Makuuchi. So it's well within the realm of possibility. So all you people on Twitter can go shove it. And I'm okay saying that because the 2 people who called me out are our 2 previous fantasy sumo participants. So I feel comfortable enough telling them to shove it.
Ryan does not speak for all his GSP. We love you guys.
No, I actually like our Twitter followers.
Yeah, no, I do too. Respectfully shove it.
There you go.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah.
Just shove it.
Knock, knock, Fleric.
Who's there?
Shimpan.
Shimpan who?
Shimpan your face. Get a towel.
What?
That's a very good question for Mac.
We need an essay on that one too.
I guess 20 was a bit much.
Well, we're going through all of them because it's prediction results time.
All right.
All right, Flair, do you want to give us a breakdown of what happened since you are our winner? I believe
All right,
this makes you a 2-time winner,
Oh, I think so.
joining the ranks of everybody else who has won twice.
Which is
At least
2?
other people.
Yeah, it's
least-
everybody else because this is our 8th one.
Is
and
this
now
exactly like 2-2-2-2?
it is exactly 2-2-2-2, except I have 2.5 because we've tied.
No,
well,
that doesn't count.
We both
you
have
lost. You lost the tiebreaker.
I'll give you. We both have 2.5 because there's one time you lost the tiebreaker to me, so we're ahead of these other jamokes.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry.
I don't think
I
so.
had a full win both those times.
You lost the tiebreaker.
I
To me
had
one
full
time. That
win
gives you like a
one
half.
of those times.
Mm.
That's not how it works.
What-
You have one winner. And you
I'm
have a loser.
trying to elevate us both above the other two.
So
Flair.
who
I get what
did you
you're saying.
pick,
Together,
Flair?
equally.
But I'd much rather push you down.
Who were some of your picks, Flair, that got you to win this?
This is more
second
important,
Basho?
Jake.
There we go. So I have Takayasu to win the Yusho. He ended with the Jin Yusho. That got me half a point. Jin Yusho, I can't remember who I started with. Was it Kakuryu or is it Hakuho?
You picked one of them, and then
I
they
think
pulled out.
Kakuryu.
So then you picked Kisano Sato, which is
Yeah.
not a great backup.
Yeah, I had him win the Jin Yusho, and unfortunately that didn't work out. But one guy who brought it, I picked Takakeisha for the special prize, and oh boy, did he
He brought
special
it
prize.
good.
You should get double
brought
points
good.
for that, I think.
He should not.
He got 2 prizes.
He did get 2
I'm not
prizes.
gonna lie.
We could discuss point changes between Bashos.
Yeah. So to kind of round it out, I had Ryuden get Kimboshi. That did not happen, but I had Onosho get Akachi Koshi, which he definitely did, and then Tamawashi, who I don't think is all that good. He did not get his Maki Koshi, unfortunately. He's apparently better than I think.
All right, and we'll send it over to Mac so he can discuss all the picks that he got correct.
And we're done.
Yeah. Mac got nothing right. He got 0 points, which I think is a first in GSB history.
We
and it
usually
is-
get at least a half a point or something here or there.
Yeah. So Mac, it's fitting that it happened to him. This is his 5th loss out of 8 Bashos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So why don't we read his picks here and see how this went? For Yusho and Jun Yusho, he picked Kisano Sato and Goedo. That did not go well. For special prize, he got Ryuden. Nope. Kinboshi was Tamawashi, who probably would have gotten one if he faced Kisano Sato in this one. So that's fair. Kachikoshi picked Chiyomaru, who did.
That was more of a please, Chiyomaru, we want you
That
to
was a
do
bit of a
well
pick with the heart, not the brain.
Yeah.
And then for Makikoshi, he picked Miyogiryu, which was a pretty good pick. It just
Not
didn't
bad.
pan out.
I mean, Miyogiryu's been on a roll, though, so.
Yeah. And me and Ryan managed to scrape together at least more than 0 points.
Yes.
So
Pretty sure I finished ahead of Jake, and that's all that's
No, we
really
both got
matters.
2.
Yeah, both got
Yeah,
2.
but I had the tiebreaker.
Damn, you're right.
Haha. All right, and so that leads us once again to punishment time. Obviously, as you have heard, I am filling in for Mac
And punishing
That
us
mean-
all.
and punishing all of our listeners.
I need to get at least one Yokozuna lyric. And since
Not
you're
from
Mac,
me,
since
no.
you're Mac,
Why don't we play Mac's voicemail that he left for
There we
us?
go. That'll get you one.
Well, rather than the plain old insults, I must say, well done, Fleric. Yokozuna Fleric. Well done, sir. Well met. And I wish I could give you these knock-knock jokes in person. Wait, that could be on the next episode. Anyway, well done, sir. Catch you guys next time. Later.
Are you satisfied now, Fleric?
yes, that was
Okay.
good.
But since this is our typical,
I can always use more though.
No. You will get
No
plenty
dice.
more from Mac. We will have him the next episode he's on refer to you as Yokozuna the entire time. But since it's punishment time, I will now punish everybody and read off consecutively 5 more knock-knock
Oh,
jokes.
Lord. Space
All
him
right.
out.
No, Jake, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Abi.
Abi who?
Abi normal for all of you young Frankenstein fans out there.
Oh, Lord.
Fleric, knock-knock.
That's how Fleric answers the door after however
Keiko.
many.
After 15, yeah.
Keiko.
Keiko who?
Keiko yourself. Jake, knock-knock.
Who's there?
Abi.
Abi who?
I'll be right back. Fleric,
Oh,
knock knock.
That actually made sense. Who's there?
Hatakiko.
Hatakiko who?
Hataki Komi. Very low effort on Mac's part there. Jake, knock knock.
who's there?
Yukata.
Yukata who?
Yukata bug on your arm. Let me knock it off. Fleric, knock knock.
No.
Knock knock.
Who's
Go
there?
away.
You show.
Who? You show who?
You show me a good time.
Like,
I hope there was a wink and a question mark written down in Mac's notes because you certainly pronounced it that way.
There was a question mark. I added the wink. All right. We've got 5 more to be read or 6 more to be read.
Let's talk about something else for a little bit.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's.
we will intersperse them throughout. And what better time to intersperse them than between some fun facts?
Oh, goody. All right, so the fun facts are more fun than knock-knock jokes. The first one is noted in our outline as underpants.
Speaking of knock-knock jokes, knock-knock, Jake.
Who's there?
She show.
She show who?
She show you her new dress?
All right, that is relevant. I'll give you that. Okay, so this is a quote from John Gunning on what goes on under the kimonos.
Ooh.
Specialized plain white undergarments that come with outsized neck holes are standard, but it's common for rikishi to wear boxer shorts with all kind of cute and colorful patterns and designs. That so offended the sensibilities of former Japan Sumo Association chairman Hana Reigoma that he issued a public demand in 2011 for rikishi to exercise underwear restraint.
Who were they showing off their fancy and colorful designs on their underwear to?
That's not important. You need to exercise underwear restraint.
Mm-hmm.
I will do no such thing.
That is
Just in
one of my
case.
favorite phrases.
In
that I'm
fact,
gonna-
I will make a concerted effort to make sure my underwear is as flamboyant as possible.
I need to
Dear
figure out
God.
more ways to work the phrase exercise underwear restraint into my day-to-day conversation.
Wife, exercise some underwear restraints.
Our second fun fact is to do with the Kensho, the banners that are displayed before matches. In principle, a Kensho sponsor has to pay for at least one banner for each day of a tournament. Banners may only be paid for by companies and not individuals, but longtime sumo fan Paul McCartney got around this restriction years ago when he used the Kensho banners to advertise his new album.
Oh, man. It's kind of cool. I think I actually saw a video of that. It was legit, like he was sitting in the stands, and then all of a sudden he had, like, buy my album.
And then it cuts back to Paul McCartney. Yay!
Mhm. That's pretty cool.
Last fun fact is on legendary Yokozuna Hitachi Yama. He's probably worthy of a deeper dive later, but I was just doing a little bit of preliminary research on a few different guys, and it came up that Hitachi Yama actually toured the United States to show off sumo. He won a ton of tournaments right around the turn of the century. Between his career was 1899 to 1914, but his prime was kind of the first half of that. But in 1906, in 1907, he went on a tour of the United States and Europe. He met with President Theodore Roosevelt, and he actually performed the Yokozuna Dohyo Iri in the White House. I thought that was really cool. That's probably one of the first guys to actually try and spread sumo around the world, or at least spread the awareness and excitement for it.
Yeah. Apparently, Teddy Roosevelt used to be really wrestling people. And
That
so,
does not surprise me in the slightest.
yeah. So I remember hearing that he actually tried to get someone to wrestle Teddy Roosevelt, but he turned it down. He's like, so you think you're pretty good at wrestling, eh? Why don't you try one of these sumo tori?
That's hilarious. And yet, like I said, not at all surprising for Teddy Roosevelt. If you look up Hitachi Yama on Wikipedia, there's an awesome picture of him in the classiest top hat. It's labeled Hitachi Yama in Chicago.
Okay, I need to look this up.
Yeah, you go for it. We'll move on with the rest of the podcast while Fleric fawns over Yokozuna Hitachi Yama
He says
wearing a
on
top hat.
Well,
On
I believe
Wikipedia, right?
Fleric has the next fun fact.
Oh, okay.
But
Look it up later.
We can
All right.
we can pause for time with a little
Oh,
knock
dear.
knock.
Who's
Oh.
there?
Sandam.
Sandan who?
Sandanme from the beach. So
Ah.
like sand on me
Oh, God.
from the beach.
Oh, no.
That's super classy. That's a nice top hat.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, now what's your fun fact?
Okay. So my fun fact is this is another one. I think the underwear one was also from John Gunning. He actually has an awesome series on Japan Times called Sumo 101. He tries to kind of cover like a topic in sumo, give the kind of basic understanding for people who are kind of new to sumo, but he always tries to have like a little fact for the people who have been following sumo for a long time that they might not have known. One of these things is about Chanko. So his quote is, many sumo wrestlers are superstitious, and as a result, many prefer to have chicken rather than pork or beef in their chanko during tournaments. The reason behind this is that chickens stand on 2 legs, just like a wrestler does during fighting, but animals with 4 legs resemble a rikishi who's been knocked down or pulled down. So they don't want to have anything to do with that. They want to keep company with chicken with the food that they eat.
Kisen Osato eating a lot of beef before this basho.
Must be.
You know who eats a lot of chicken, though? It's that chicken Goedo.
Yeah.
Yellow-bellied coward.
That's right.
Ugh. Okay. Hit us with another one of those terrible jokes, and we can move on.
All right, Flarik, knock knock.
Who's there?
Noda.
Know the who?
Nodawa. Sorry, Nodawa is the throat attack.
Oh, good.
Just
Didn't
fun and
even try.
informative. Just fun and informative. He had
Think
to
of somebody
write
coming.
20.
Think of somebody coming to your door, knocking
Hi.
on it. Hi, here's a thing. Here's a fact.
Here's a fact. Goodbye.
That'll do. Oh God! All right, so let's do a quick overview of our fantasy this time. We actually have a voicemail from our guest, our follower on Twitter, Wata. He has contributed in the past, but he left us a nice little voicemail.
Hello, Grand Sumo Breakdown. Thank you for letting me partake in your fantasy sumo. In honor of our winner, Mac, I have written down I should now record a performance in his honor. It was a trial of excitement. I awaited delightment. As the rickshaw they shoved in the sport that I loved, I had picked me a team, very strong they did seem. But they faltered, I screamed, and Mac won the tourney. I thought Ryan was the enemy. I was happy when the loser he would be. Little did I know, another loser was me. I have been Wada, and I just want to say I love you guys. You make a great show. Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, despite all these awful knock-knock jokes, we do have to give Mac credit for winning fantasy.
Which means absolutely nothing. So, of course, Mac keeps winning fantasy.
Yeah, when it doesn't involve you being forced to write jokes and stuff, then
We
Mac
could put
shines.
money on it.
Shut up.
Yeah, no.
But no, Mac
Shut
won
your mouth.
fantasy basically on the back of Taka Keisho and Koto Shogaku. He also had Taka Genji from Juryo that earned him a good deal of points. Our power rankings that we've been maintaining for the Makuuchi division are now interactive, as we've mentioned in the past. We've tweeted out a link. You can go there, and we have a section where you can view a graph of the power rankings over the course of the most recent tournament. You can change these little drop-down menus to see who shows up on a graph at a given time. And no surprises here. Taka Keisho and Takayasu took the top two spots. Taka Keisho had a very elite ranking of 1134. Takayasu not far behind at 1115. For the record, though, when Hakuho won his most recent Zensho Yusho, he was all the way up at 1180. So those guys have a little ways to go to catch up there.
Yeah, 40 more Yushos to go.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, 41 more for Takayasu.
Yeah, you better get on that.
And then last up here, we've got our social media contest for who's going to join us for Fantasy Sumo in the next Basho. We are asking for who are the greatest mythical creatures of sumo. These are things that don't exist, but would be absolutely devastating on the dohyo. Things like gives a crap Ichinojo. I feel like if...
Terrifying.
Terrifying, right? If he gave a crap all the way to the edge of the dohyo, that would be an unbeatable Rikishi right there.
Oh, yeah.
So gives a crap Ichinojo, pre-diabetes Terano Fuji,
We got a glimpse of that, and that was also a very powerful, intimidating thing.
or Kisano Sato,
Ooh. Wouldn't that be a thing?
Wouldn't that
Kisano
be a
Sato
thing?
was a thing?
a mythical creature. Yeah. So we'll tweet this out as well, and you can respond on Twitter or send us messages directly. But if you'd like to join us in Fantasy Sumo next time, think of your favorite mythical creature of sumo.
All right, and as your surrogate Mac for the episode, I will take control of the GSB Awards. So our first award is going to be the Benny Hill Award, which we will give to Takekaze and Toyo Noshima in the Juryo ranks on day 9. Both of them had very elegant back-to-back spin moves as they tried to push each other out. Very entertaining match there. We do have a little bit of an honorable mention for the Benny Hill Award. Sho Hozan versus Tochi Noshin on day 15. They had their first match, which was a full, nice, complete, very hard-fought match, which didn't count. One of the Shimpan at the side said, nah, mata. And then they...
But that match that they did have that didn't count, Shohozan had him dead to rights from behind for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, and he could not do it. He could not finish the job, and then Tochi just kind of spun around and dumped him.
Yep. Our next award is the Boom Headshot Award. This goes to Daisho Maru on day 13. He had a very good Tachi-Ai and then a Haymaker Smackdown. I would also throw a honorable mention to Takakeisho on day 1 versus Kisen Osato. Not quite a headshot, but quite a vicious slapdown to the Yokozuna. Our next award is the Robbed Award. And once again, we bring up the Tochinoshin versus Shohozan match. That match that Tochinoshin won on the first time, and somebody decided that was a mata. I think kind of BS there. We watched it. It was pretty much legit.
It was as legit as most matches.
Yeah.
Like maybe there was, an inch of air between the fist and the ground, but it certainly wasn't
and they
unheard
both,
of.
Yeah, and they both went at each other, and the Gyoji didn't call it. It was a Shimpan at the side who raised his hand, but yeah.
The phrase we hear for that is like mutual consent to start the match. And they clearly both did. They kept fighting the entire time.
Yep. And then there was a second Tachi-ai, and then it looked clean as well, and then the Gyoji was like, mata, 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 mata. And we're like, okay, whatever. And then there was a third match, and this one was also as hard fought as the first one. A lot of work around the Tawara. Ended up Tochinoshin pushing Shohozan out, but apparently this only seems to happen to Tochinoshin. Halfway through the match, a very small, minuscule part of his foot touched the outside of the dohyo, costing him the match.
And this is the one we mentioned earlier. It was the foot that was wrapped heavily. So if the foot had a little more flexibility, or if he had just a tiny bit more balance, or whatever.
If the bandage wasn't like sticking out beyond his foot.
A little less bulky joint tape.
Yeah.
I will say, it kind of like they were out of breath after that first match.
Oh, yeah.
It took a long time to kind of catch their breath.
Shohozan was almost out of blood after the second match.
He was he definitely was running out. Low supply.
Which brings us to our No Pain, No Gain award, which goes to Shohozan on day 15, as he was bloodied and beaten up, but still technically beat Tochinoshin.
I mean, he did certainly win in the match that counted, but the match that should have counted, yeah. It was a very interesting, very noteworthy match.
The Not Today award goes to Okinoumi on day 12. He had a Kotenage reversal at the edge of the dohyo, and a very upset and angry Meisei that he couldn't finish off Okinoumi getting up after that match. And a special honorable mention to Takayasu versus Takakeisho on day 14. As we discussed earlier, looked very much like Takakeisho was going to be able to push Takayasu out easily to clinch the Yusho. Takakeisho slipped, and Takayasu took advantage of that, had a nice little pirouette move, and Takakeisho fell flat on his face. The Not So Fast award for Matas. You might get tired of this match, but Shohozan versus Tochinoshin, that's obvious.
That's got to be a record, right?
Yeah, probably. And the most prestigious of all of the awards, the GSB Match of the Basho.
Basho.
Goes to Shohozan versus Koto Shogiku on day 6. A couple of two homegrown guys just going at each other, pushing each other towards the Tawara, the other one spitting out. Very long match, had a couple of rest holds in there, but in the end, Shohozan was able to outlast Koto Shogiku and throw him to the ground, unless I'm misremembering that, and it happened the other way around.
I think it was a large part of why that match was so much fun, and why I personally was able to get into it so much, was because these are the only two guys that, the only two local guys from Fukuoka there. And the crowd went nuts for that entire match, and that made it so much fun and so easy to get invested in it, even though it was, a day 6 match between mid-level Megashira.
Both ended up 10-5.
Yeah. And again, great for the hometown guys and showing up in front of their crowd.
And a couple of honorable mentions, that aforementioned Takayasu Takakeisho match, and also the Mitakayumi versus Takayasu match. Something that I was meaning to bring up before, and now is as good a time as any to mention it, is knock
Please
knock.
Don't be another knock knock.
Yeah. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Mata.
Mata who?
Mata you for beating me.
I don't get that one.
Yeah. Add it to the essay list. No, but what I actually wanted to bring up was, how sad were you for Takayasu as he was laying on the dohyo, just kind of like
my heart.
Staring up to the ceiling, just, oh no, what have I done?
That hurt.
Yeah, Fleric has pulled up a picture for all of us.
Oh, why?
The cameras were all so nice to zoom in on Takayasu's pained face as he lay on the dohyo, realizing that
Fleric,
he came up short once again, as Fleric makes as much noise as possible, moving his computer around.
Just the worst.
Yes.
You know what that man deserves? He deserves
Takayasu?
no Fleric. He deserves a knock
He
joke.
does deserve a knock-knock
No,
joke
please.
just for that.
Please, no.
Fleric, knock-knock.
No.
Knock-knock.
No.
Knock-knock.
I won. Why should I have to do this?
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Kabu.
Copy who?
Why are you crying? Kabu-hoo.
Oh.
Eh.
It's like the boo-hoo one, but you had a ka before.
All right,
it,
how many
'cause I'm
more
sure
left?
it's a Japanese word. We have one more.
Oh.
Let's see. Is it any good? It's not bad. We'll save it. It's not good, but it's not bad.
As long as you end with a bang, that's the only one people remember, right?
We're ending with an adequate, but all right, fine. Since we've played it up so much, the final knock-knock joke. Jake, knock-knock.
Who's there?
He was a
who?
He was a gracious victor. Fleric was not acting like a gracious victor just a
No,
couple minutes
this
ago
was
as he
awful.
slammed his fists upon the table, yelling, "I'm the winner! Why should I have to deal with this?"
That probably sounded terrible.
What?
Yes, but that's exactly what I said. What? One more time?
Fleric won.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Can
All
we
right.
move on now?
Yeah, what was your favorite moment of the Boss Show? Mac gave us his, so I'll just read his as the surrogate Mac. His favorite moment was the breaking of the dohyo, and he said that it gives an idea of the force that these guys pack. So that was, once again, Ichinojo versus We Believe Takayasu. One of the few times you'll ever see Ichinojo fall down.
Which is probably good for a guy who's over 200 kilos.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know how many more dohyos he would break if he fell down more often.
The one that I picked completely on my own before I saw that Ryan had also already picked this
And
one.
then Fleric agreed to
and
it.
then Fleric also agreed. So the other three of us are
Yes.
picking the very end of day 15, is in particular the time between Takakeisho and Takayasu's match, where it could be a playoff. Everything rides on those two matches, Takakeisho and Takayasu's individual matches, not against each other, but both of them were must wins, and only one of them came through.
It was kind of like a semi-playoff because,
Yeah.
like you said, they both could have lost and ended up in a playoff because they
That
were
would have been really
they were both
anticlimactic.
two ahead, but we still would have had a playoff. But you still had two guys that basically needed to win to force a playoff. One guy rise to that, and the other guy just falling short to it. But yeah, that's the closest thing we've gotten to a playoff this year, and it was really fun. And I think especially during the Takayasu and Mitakayumi match, very tense because there was a long pause in there where not sure who was going to make the next move and what was going to happen. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite moment. And
all the shots of Taki Keisho in the locker room, just kind of just sitting there waiting as well. It was just fantastic.
showing as much emotion as he did after he found out he won the U show.
Oh yeah,
I
which
love
was
those.
None.
I love those clips at the end of the tournament. It's like watching WWE Raw or something with the one guy watching the TV backstage intently. Just to further the storyline, it's like, oh, that guy's watching the match too.
Yeah. All right, and we've got it's the time of year where we in America like to give thanks for all that has happened and occurred to us in the previous year,
And eat like Rikshi.
and eat like Rikshi. It's Thanksgiving time, a little bit after that, but who cares? Jake, what were you thankful this year?
For me, I am most thankful for 3 first-time U-Show winners. I think it was awesome to see more guys get in the title picture. It makes it a bit more exciting and a bit harder to predict what's going to happen.
Fleric, what were you thankful for this year?
I am totally going to piggyback off of that. I loved.
It was a pretty good one, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was the Yokozuna kind of going Cujo is kind of sad, but like it definitely leveled the playing field a little bit more. There's a lot more parity in those boss shows, and they were really exciting.
Yeah, I will piggyback off of that. I'm thankful that we got a glimpse of the future. I think Tochinoshin's probably a little too old to really be considered the future. He's already 30, 31 years old. Maybe we see
You shut your mouth.
a late. I'd love to see a late Yokozuna run out of him, but he's not going to be around for too much longer, even if he gets that rank. So I think Mitakayumi, especially Takakeisho, winning U-Shows, I think is a very good look at what the future of sumo can look like. I think Takakeisho, with all the stats that we read at the beginning, the names that he's with, future Yokozuna, no joke,
Has to be.
Takakeisho.
Oh,
Slightly more serious than future Yokozuna
I was gonna say,
Aoyama.
there was a Teru no Fuji in one of those records too.
Yeah, and if Teruno Fuji hadn't gotten hurt, who knows where he'd be right now. He won his first basho when he was a Sekiwake, had a decent run at Ozeki. He finished up with 2-13-2 records before his injury got to him at the Ozeki rank. So
Then he got the diabetes.
Diabetes.
He got the beatus.
Let's hope Takakesha doesn't get that.
Yep. And Mac, once again, showing that he's the only one of us that can come up with an individual, unique thought. He was thankful for Ura showing excellent signs of recovery this year after missing quite a few basho in a row with that ACL injury. He's been back for the past two, was 6-1 and 7-0 in Sandanme. So Ura definitely looking very good. We did have some predictions from our Twitter users, some bold predictions for this basho, and want to call out the people who did pretty well on that. We had at Metallimaiden, I believe that is a cross of Metallica and Iron Maiden. So at Metallimaiden 36, he predicted that Ichinojo would have that I really can't be bothered look on his face. And
Bold.
Yes, quite bold and happened very, very much so. At Guidas, GwYdas, she predicted Goedo and Takakesho go 14-1. Takakesho 13-2, not bad. Tochinoshin and Takayasu to go 13-2. Takayasu 12-3.
1 for 2 again.
Not bad. She also predicted Kisei to go out early due to injury, which not really too bold with Kisei no Sato, but still, it didn't happen last time. It happened this time.
That's a better accuracy rate than we usually get.
I was going to say, I didn't think that was going to happen.
We had a former fantasy sumo guest, Mr. J Wags. He predicted that Takakesho has a breakout basho with 12+ wins. He predicted that Onosho would get 10+ wins. And he also predicted Kisei no Sato and One Ozeki would go Kyujo.
That's pretty solid.
He had a couple others mixed in there that didn't quite come true, but
Okay, so he got some stuff wrong.
he got some
thank
stuff
God.
wrong. Okay. We had our fantasy guest for this time at Huata Things predict that Aoyama would get 10+ wins.
I love your exaggerated H when you say
Huata. We had at Wow Juliana. She predicted Ichinojo to go 6-9. She predicted Kisei no Sato to go out early with injury, and Tochinoshin to take the basho. She was so close to that perfect prediction. And as at Beast Monarch reminded us on Twitter, he predicted a Takakesho Yusho.
And that, I think that is as bold and on point as you can get there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to forget. Like after he won, like he definitely won it, but that was very much a dark horse. This whole basho.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't really believe that it was legit until probably day 10 or 12. It's like, okay, this could actually happen.
I will point out on our Midway episode, I said Takakesho was going to take it. So
Yeah,
There's no way to prove
I
that.
believed slightly sooner than Jake.
Whatever.
All right. So our next basho preview episode will be the Hatsu Basho, which is starting in January. Between now and then, we plan on having a couple of bonus episodes. We're going to have our end of the year award show. We are also going to answer the rest of the questions of our Ask GSB segment. But until then, you can give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
You can find us on Twitter and Facebook, Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com for fantasy sumo and power rankings.
You can email us any comments, questions, or corrections at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 805-613-7866. That is 805-613-SUMO. And we will see you next time. Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Until next time.
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.
Konnichiwa!
Kisei no Sato! I bring you sumo-enriched Kisei no Sato's breakfast cereal, fortified with massive weight gain and muscle growth.
It's good.
And good for you.
Bobby?
Hakioi?
Bobby? Fuck.
That should be our nugget at the end of the episode.
I think that's a good one.
Bobby?
That would be good.